We just traveled for 2 days to compete in a motorsport event most people don't know exists.
This is my daily driver, ND Miata. I'm Gavin.
I'm Tyler.
And this is Road Rally.
Speed it up, 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 speed it up. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy.
Now, a quick foreword before we get into it. I finished this edit last night. I sent it over to Tyler for review, and he said, no, it's boring. And if you've been around the channel before, and if you haven't, then welcome, feel free to subscribe. You'll notice that today is a pretty severe deviation from our usual recipe. It's a very different sauce, and I feel like it's not something to apologize for. We are trying to make this sport as approachable as possible for people who've never even heard of it. And in order to do that, we need a little bit of classroom time up front. It's a necessary evil, I'm sorry. There's a bunch of stuff that you just don't know if you're just starting out or have never done this before. Hold on, let me turn the lights on, it's still dark. And if you're not interested in that portion, you already know what you're doing, or you just want to see how today's rally went, feel free to skip to this timestamp right here. I won't hold it against you. This guy, look at him. Look how cute he is. Feel free to skip over there. Otherwise, for those of you that are sticking around, it's gonna be a little wordy for the first few minutes. Let me make it up to you with a quick montage of some of my favorite moments from previous rallies. This is a pretty good pace for this road. Are you swiping Tinder right now?
Yep.
I hope he enjoys these. Tyler's in a ditch. Tyler's in a ditch. That right there is slip. Just giving any amount of throttle.
So I put my hands up, playing my song.
And at this point, I feel like I've gone on long enough, so let's get into it. I guess in edit, I'll put a really smooth transition. So Tyler and I have both run a good few road rallies at this point, and I'd really like to see more of you joining us out there. We're on the way back from another epic rally in Michigan. Some of these events are really worth a 12-hour drive to get to. I mean, it's a really good time, and I feel like some of you aren't coming because not only do you not know what it is, but even if somebody invited you to one, you might have some hesitations. You might think that you're not in a position to run one. And we're gonna tell you why you're wrong.
When you hear road rally, a lot of people think of WRC rally, of cars going flat out in the woods, doing 75 miles an hour around corners, fully sideways. That is a type of rally, but there are a lot of types of rally.
Just like every other form of motorsport, there's layers to the shit layer.
I'm also a stage rally organizer. I love stage rally, but if you think about the cars going sideways and going super fast, they're on closed course roads. They need super expensive safety equipment, and a lot of times we don't have that kind of access to those cars. We don't have the money to enter them, and the road rally is a way to have a similar experience and be able to have that great adventure and drive those great roads without having to have a full dedicated race car. You can do it with any road car.
You can literally steal your mother's Camry. Kids, find your mother's keys, get in her car and drive to Michigan right now.
Don't. So that the basic concept of a road rally is that you're going to start at a start point, probably a restaurant or something. You will get a road book, which is a list of instructions of where to go. They'll tell you where to go, they'll tell you how fast to go on certain roads, and you have to match the speed. So if you go too fast, you get penalized. If you go too slow, you get penalized. You have to be very precise and accurate about how fast you go. And oftentimes, they set a speed that is challenging to meet. A car and a friend. That's pretty much it. In autocross and rallycross and track days and stuff, you are going to have one person in the car most often, unless you have like an instructor with you. But in rally, you are required to have two people. Plan on having a driver and navigator in the car. The driver's job is to stay on speed, and the navigator's job is to basically stay on course and make sure the driver isn't drifting off and forgetting things. It is a full job for both people. You're both going to stay busy. Don't worry about being bored. Speaking of autocross and rallycross and track days, is rallying a race? No, it is not a speed event. You do not win by going fast. You win by being precise. It is a precision driving event. You are not trying to go fast. these days we use GPS checkpoints, so you can use an app on your phone, and anyone who has an app on a phone that can do GPS can do road rally.
As far as the car is concerned, you don't need literally anything. If you have a car that is roadworthy for the conditions in that region, you know, it's a little snowy here, so we run snow tires. Other than that, I'm in my Miata that I daily drive with no other preparation whatsoever. I've run it in my Supra. We've scouted in this Passport several times.
In the past year, I've seen people do a road rally in everything from a Toyota Tacoma to a Ford Fusion, a PT Cruiser.
The PT Cruiser.
There's a turbocharged Corvair that ran one of them.
The people that often win these things fly to the event and run it in a rental Audi Q3.
One of the guys who did really well on Yucatan one year drove a Buick Enclave.
Yeah.
A Buick Enclave rental car and won the event. So it's all about your driving skill and your precision.
That's part of the majesty of this event, is that the car almost doesn't matter. It's 100% about the driver's ability to stay on time.
We still recommend driving a fun car if you can, but you don't have to have a great time.
But by this definition, fun can be a slow car. Like, you can go out there and do it in something like a Corvair.
Saab Sonnet.
You know, a Saab Sonnet, Miatas. You don't need anything more than a daily drivable amount of horsepower and traction. There's no roll cages. There's
no helmet.
You don't need a helmet. You don't need a fire extinguisher. You don't need literally anything.
Seatbelts and normal stuff. Just anything that is safe and legal to be on the road. You're good. Since road rallies are run on open roads, they're not closed down, your normal car insurance will suffice. You don't need any special insurance or approval from anything. You are technically driving your road legal car on a road legal road, and you're good to go.
At no point during the event are you encouraged to break any laws, and you're actually, if you get a moving violation, you get disqualified. So even if you don't get caught speeding, if you don't get pulled over, they know how fast you're going. You're being tracked this whole time, and they can actually just filter it by top speed and look at who went the fastest all day and see that your C5 Corvette was ripping past at 120 past a Supra on the way to the fucking creamery.
This is not a specific instance at all. All characters in the story are made up and not legally binding.
There goes the Corvette making up time. They can pull it up, and if they decide that you were driving recklessly for any reason, you can just get disqualified. You're just out there with people who are on their way to work and dropping their kids off at soccer and shit, and they don't even know that you're in the middle of a rally. So don't be an asshole.
Just go on Motorsport Reg, check that box for Road Rally. It'll show you all the events in your area. And check back, because sometimes they don't post them until like a month or two before the event.
These events typically are going to cost somewhere around $50. One of the most affordable and accessible motorsports that there is. I think the most expensive one we did was Press On Regardless, that I think was like $180, but that was because it was several days with a lot of big names running it and stuff. Like, it's a really,
and that was a national level event.
All of your little locally organized ones that we typically are running are going to be like $50.
You should be aware on Motorsport Red, you're going to see multiple types of rallies. The ones you're going to start out with are called tour rallies. There are also trap rallies, gimmick rallies, all kinds of other stuff. The tour ones are the fun ones where you just drive on the roads and enjoy yourself. If you enter a trap rally by mistake, they're going to try to trick you. It's like a puzzle.
You need to get accustomed to how all the timing works and how to actually stay on pace and follow the directions before you try to do a trap rally, because it's more like they'll throw fucking scavenger hunts and shit in the middle of it. Like, they'll really try to mess with you and purposefully make you miss turns and stuff. It has a puzzle solving element that I don't recommend for beginners.
Start with a tour. It's better. Some people have done rallying in the past will talk about all the math that's involved, and they'll say, oh, rallying is the most anal retentive motorsport. And it used to be when you had to do math by hand to know how fast you're going. These days there are apps and things you can use to make your lives a lot easier. You'll know if you're on time without having to do any math whatsoever.
And some rallies are run completely within those apps, such as Rabbit, that we often use. It has all of the turns and directions inside of it, and it lets you know if you're on time or not. It is an all-in-one app. And that's a thing you'll just have to check with your club and learn at your driver's meeting.
These events are timed by GPS checkpoints. In the short of it, you're going to have competition segments called legs or stages connected by non-scored roads called links or transits. On the competition stages, you're going to have probably multiple checkpoints along the way. What you're looking for is a 0.0 score, and you get a score of usually like 1 point for 1 second you're late or early. The more accurate you are and the closer to 0, the better.
It's very common for the people that win these things to have less than 30 points through the whole event.
This event, you will see we got 5 points.
Oh, don't spoil it yet.
15. Oh my God, it's ruined.
Everything
I
is
ruined
The winners had what, 30 points all day?
Yeah.
At POR, the winner had what, 17 points? People that are just really, really fucking good at this will get single-digit scores, and I don't know how, because at this rally, our very first segment, we got 120 points. Like, there's people
I messed it up.
There was 4 or 5 teams that didn't get that many points all day.
You're probably going to get 1,500 points the first rally. Both of us did, I believe.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusations.
So with a total of 896 points, for it being our first time doing this, square in the middle of the pack at 8th place, I'll take that.
And it's just a matter of going out, enjoying yourself, practicing, and getting it down.
We've talked a little bit about what the event itself is going to be like, but as far as getting ready for it, there's actually not a whole lot you need to do. You're going to make sure that your car is safe and roadworthy and, you know, appropriate to drive in those conditions. The checklist for most of these events, when you go to register, it'll tell you what you do need to check for, and it's similar to the tech inspection at autocross. They're going to ask that you check and make sure that you have things like turn signals and seat belts.
Headlights.
Calm down. So basically, if your car is roadworthy, you're fine.
You might see pictures of rally cars on the internet with a lot of lights over the front and they're super bright. You don't need it. On your first rally, if your headlights are sufficient to drive twisty roads safely with your high beams, you're good. Don't worry about it. You can upgrade to other lights if you want to. Gavin's car has some new lights on it. You can go check out his videos on that. My car has extra lights on it. What are you running on your Miata right now?
The Miata has one set of DOT legal KC lights, which are not quite sufficient because they're the DOT legal version, so I'm also running a 32-inch LED bar. With the Supra, we ran at POR with its stock headlights and just an extra set of hella fog lights, and it wasn't enough. We wound up very much wishing that we had some extra lighting.
Especially the navigator who's sitting here in the passenger seat holding a clipboard trying not to freak out. Quite a few areas where I had to just put my nose in the road book because I didn't want to look at what car was coming up. It was a butt pucker.
If he paid too much attention to the road, he was constantly telling me, whoa, whoa.
My Saab Sonnet has 2 CBA Oscar replicas, but it's not necessary, especially if you have a newer car. The headlights are going to be just fine for you on your first event. You can see whether you like doing rally before you spend the money on more lights.
So when you register for your event, you're going to be given a timeline of events. Pretty much the first thing that's going to be on there is driver's meeting.
Sawyer Stone, and I'm the rally master for Summit Snowdrift with my wife Allison.
We have ran the entire route this morning, and I can guarantee you guys, please pay attention to the emergency instructions. It will help. If you guys at any time feel like you guys are not comfortable with the speed, it should be okay, but if you guys are not feeling comfortable, slow down.
We want everybody to be safe out there. There's a little local traffic, but the snow should keep it down. But the local traffic will be driving slow. Use your time allowances generously.
They're going to get everybody together. You're going to go over general safety rules, general practices, anything specific to that event that has to do with unique timing practices for that region, shit like that. But overall, it's just a driver's meeting to make sure that you know what to expect and to answer any questions that you have. And that's the most important part, because if you don't understand how to use whatever app you're using or how to run timing or anything like that, that is the time to get all of that cleared up.
don't be late. If you're late to registration, you'll get your road book late, you'll have less time to look over the road book, and then you usually have a time of day that you have to start. Get there with plenty of time, half hour, 45 minutes early even, talk to the organizer ahead of time. If you're late to that registration event, it's going to be way worse for you.
Good job, you made it this far. It's time to actually go do stuff. The first section of the road book is going to cover odometer checks.
And we are on odometer calibration. Take the super serial.
Much like the entire fucking rest of the day, it's going to be a set of turn-by-turn instructions.
Straight up traffic signal at 8 Mile.
At an eighth of a mile?
8 Mile Road.
At 8 Mile Road. Neat. I hope we don't lose ourselves.
I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway.
Basically, you're going to be using that to calibrate and make sure that your odometer, whatever you're using, whether it's the car's stock odometer, or if you're running in a class with GPS, if you're using an app to follow, whatever it is, you're making sure that that odometer matches the car that set the pace organizing the rally. Because if your calibration is off, fun fact, you're gonna get a lot of points. Don't ask us how we know that. We would never.
Never happens.
Never, not even that one time. So we just started our odometer check. We've pulled out of the parking lot. We are
3 minutes late.
We're a couple of minutes late already, but you know,
It
it'd
takes
be like
time
that.
to set up all the gadgets. So.
It takes time to set everything up. You know, we run a lot of electronics to try to cover up a skill issue, and we're not good at this either. And you'll figure out a system that works for you. And all that matters is that you're having fun. So let's go have some fun.
Alright, 347 left at side road, tower, caution.
Tower caution, aye.
And then a half mile after that, we're doing another right at Gottfriedson.
Okay. So this is often like the most tedious part and the easiest place to get lost. Leaving from the muster spot to actually getting to the first stage is usually, you know, because you got to get out of town, out to the remote areas. It's the easiest place to get lost and miss a turn or something. But it's kind of inconsequential. If you miss a turn during this part and have to turn around, it's fine. You're not being scored yet. So it's all right. Not a big deal. We've completed the calibration route. We are standing by to start the first stage. We have to wait on our designated start time. So now we're moving. My goal is to keep our needle here. We need to keep that needle happy in order to stay on time. That's the goal. That's pretty much the only thing I want to pay attention to. His job is to tell me when it's time to turn. That's very basic rundown. I keep us on time, he tells us when it's time to turn. Something like that. So let's see how this first stage goes.
We should mention that navigators should not get car sick.
So we're coming up on our checkpoint. It's this sign right here. And we know that we're a little off calibration. We're trying to adjust for that by staying +2. See what we got.
Late 17.3.
Late 17!
That's way, way, way off.
Yeah, we have
take a
the
left.
calibration. So basically, we just took
slow the fuck down.
we just took a maximum score on that stage because our timing is wrong, our mileage calibration is wrong.
I'm gonna take a 45-second TA on here, so hopefully we get back in the realm of being on the score. And I don't know what else to
It
do,
keeps
so.
getting wronger and wronger, and he keeps punching in numbers, and I don't think he knows what he's doing. And that's part of the game, is figuring out the timing and being adaptable, because your calibration is going to be wrong, you're going to encounter oncoming trucks.
We got a tree on the side,
There's-
tree down in the road.
there's
We got
trees.
basically a one-lane road here, and there are potholes everywhere. We don't want to create an unsafe situation, so we want to make sure that we have the time to do it.
Yep.
That's why
As-
TAs exist.
As an absolute rule, you don't be a dumbass. So, just take a TA and adjust your time as necessary.
Take a right on 5 Mile. Take a right. Take a right.
Right on 5 Mile? None of them did.
Right on 5 Mile.
And he's just noticed it.
This is 7.936.
Jesus Christ. It's
We're
pretty
too
wide
fast.
right here, so I'm gonna stop and
We're
let
going too
I'm gonna let the Eclipse by.
That works.
This is the most back and forth interaction of passing cars I've seen on a road rally. Theoretically, none of you should ever pass each other. At all. You should all stay exactly 1 minute apart all fucking day. Like, if you're passing each other, then you're doing it wrong. And we've been passing each other a lot.
Either someone's taking a time allowance or somebody's losing really bad. It's like
I wonder who that somebody
like
is.
in racing, you lap someone and you win. In in a road rally, if you are lapping someone, someone's losing.
One of you is incredibly wrong. So,
Calibration successfully failed. All right.
you think that's going to get us now?
Should.
Yeah. So our calibration was significantly off, and theoretically it's adjusted and proper now. All right. 18 seconds, and you want to give yourself a few seconds to get up to speed. So typically, for every 10 miles per hour of cast, we're gonna do 1 second, but when it's icy like this, I'm gonna do like 3.
And you don't, the GPS doesn't know you started the stage until a 1/10 of a mile, so we have that time as a buffer to pull forward, let people zero, all that stuff.
And see, right as I'm getting up to speed, we're just about zeroed out.
Restart.
So,
All right, restart.
and you hear that restart? That's it starting the stage.
Right at Crossroad Jennings, the next one.
So just to show you what we're looking at in the instrumentation that we're using, because we've got a lot of shit going on here.
At 6.58, we see it right at Side Road Valentine. Valentine's the name of the road.
And we can see these maps right here. Everything left of here is completely non-essential. This is shit that we have found helps us. So I use my OEM navigation and I run Waze. So we use these two maps just to be able to look ahead for the turn that we're going to be taking, because sometimes these rural, middle of nowhere places, the signage isn't the best. You might have trouble finding it. So
In the 50s, they would have a spotlight on the roof that they would point at the signs to try to find the signs, but we don't have to do that.
So he's got the timer, we've got the thing, the
right.
asshole that's giving us points, and then these are just for reference to be able to find upcoming turns. Ooh-wee.
We gotta make up 5 seconds now. Should have banked a couple on that one instead of talking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, these guys are going slow. This is a really good use case for using TAs, timing allowances. These are people that are in our way, and we can't go faster than them. You know, we're not going to recklessly pass them to stay on time.
And we have a checkpoint coming up in this road, so we need to be on time, but we can't pass them. So we take a TA. This adds a little bit of time for us to have a buffer room. That will allow us to get back on time without having to pass them.
Think of a TA as like an excused absence.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically you asking permission to be late.
Yep.
And you don't actually really have to justify it or anything. And we're getting slowed down by them again. We're falling behind pace again. So
Do you want another? It's gonna be a minute.
we're gonna have to get another. Ooh, did you see that?
Right.
So that was the end of that section. We just completed the first third of the rally. So how have we been doing scoring wise overall for the stages?
Terrible, man. We're at 246 points. I think I'm doing my corrections backward. I think instead of doing like a plus time, I'm doing a minus time, because in my brain it's all switched around. I think that's the main issue.
We're at 246 points, and 120 of that was just the first stage, and we've done, what, 2 or 3 more stages after that?
We've done 3 stages overall.
We did tidy it up a little bit, and we're still not doing good.
I need to make a cheat sheet
Yeah.
to put on the dash of which way to correct. It's a pretty cool little road here. Badass.
Yeah, a neat section.
Reminds me of up north Minnesota.
Alright. And that concludes section 2.
Mr. Deer.
There's a deer.
Might be another. Good.
What's the TA for hitting a deer?
Boy, we eat venison at the aftermarket.
Delicious.
This
We eat what we hit around here.
This road is beautiful. Just
It really
gorgeous.
is. This is a really good road, and also this LED bar is fucking excellent. It's not even all the way dark yet.
Slow down a little bit.
That's the very last checkpoint. What do we got?
Lane 0.1.
Fuck
0.1.
Yeah! What up, dude? 500.5.
500.5, which definitely rounds down to exactly 500. What am I doing here?
Let's see, right at 9 Mile.
Right at 9 Mile. And here we are at 9 Mile. We've only seen 8 Mile once today, which is kind of whack. That was the last stage. It's all done. The day is over.
Time for some beer.
Yeah. We're gonna go to the after party. Let's see, can you even see me? Does this light help?
Not really.
Tell me what that looks like. Leave me a comment. Let me know, you know, if you were better off just not being able to see me. I understand, honestly. We're done, so we're gonna go to the after party now, and we'll see you there. Results
right.
just posted. What do we
These are
got?
preliminary results. We just got the email, but if we look at, we have 24 teams. We are on here. We are 8th. I think that's.
We got 8.
We're moving up a little
Man.
bit. Like this is. It's good.
We did so bad, and we're in the top third.
We're in the middle of G class, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
We might actually be figuring this. We didn't do as bad as we thought we did.
So my best result was as a driver in 22 Yucatan Rally. We got 3rd place because the 2 people before us crashed, and I kept it on the road. But this is.
At least you beat
I'm
them.
proud of this. Like this is good.
Let's look at these scores. So, as you can see, it goes from the very best score of the day being about 30 points up to the very worst score being 1456. Pretty broad spread there, but our 500 is actually not fucking bad. Good job, team.
Minnesota here. Gavin and Tyler have donated an award for the person with the highest score.
Dead last but finished.
There is a wonderful sticker here that says I don't need directions. Car 12. Alex Rocky and Andy Wallace. Congrats, guys.
Good stuff.
Thanks again for
I thought it was going to be going to us. This is your first time. Don't expect to win anything. If you go into this hoping to win a trophy, you're going to have a bad time because I promise you're not winning.
We didn't know each other before we were doing road rallies, so it's not the awards that you win, it's the friends you make along the way.
And this gun I
And
found,
then they
through the power of friendship and this gun I found, all things are possible. So this is it. That was how our day went. We're on the way home now. Long ass drive. If you're purely interested in horsepower and going fast, this might not be your thing. And that's okay.
If you like back roads and driving swiftly on back roads, this is going to be your jam.
Look,
No.
it's just a good way to be able to get out and spend some time with like-minded people.
Drive some fun cars, see some good roads, and eat at some good restaurants.
It's a good automotive adventure. If you want to see what that adventure actually really looks like, look back at our Press On Regardless rally. It was a really good, it was just an excellent weekend to spend with good people. And we want to see you out there. You.
Go sign up. Go on Motorsport Reg, find a road rally, and just like run the road rally in your area. Have fun.
And until next time, we're glad to have you along for the ride. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Unsubscribe, please. He doesn't need more encouragement.
We out here doing hella gang shit.